Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and hello to you all, you lovely soul fam. And you might notice I sound a little bit throaty today. That's because I've come down with some kind of flu-y, COVID-y bug thing. I've actually seen the doctor and he thinks I will live. So which is reassuring, really. And I've got the hot lemon, ginger, and honey, and but you might hear me just being a little bit croaky today. So how are we all? How is everybody? Because we really are in the eye of the storm. This is the week ahead that I normally do on a Sunday. But also, I had to make the focus of this week ahead the Mars conjunct Uranus conjunct Algol energy. So for those of you that need a little bit of refreshing for it, let's just run quickly through what Mars represents, what Uranus represents, what Algol represents, and what all three of them represent in the sign of Taurus. And before I do that, I just want to say that I'm in total agreement with, and I can't remember which one of you said it, so apologies, but someone left in the comments about not sensationalizing astrology if one gets it right. And I absolutely adhere to that. If you think of Pam Gregory, Steve Judd, Heather Ensworth, they talk constantly about not feeding the negative of these energies. Therefore, it's so important, especially with what has unfolded over the weekend, that we don't give it energy, in the sense that we don't that we don't behave like vultures, kind of clawing over the mess that it caused. And let's think about this. Irrespective of anyone's political views, I have no strong views either way with American politics. I don't understand it enough to have definite views about it. Personalities, that's a different thing. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that the events of the last few days have been truly terrible, but they do actually, interestingly, represent the energy of this Mars-Uranus conjunct Algol. And now let me come back, having said that, and just made it clear that it's so important to keep a balance with this energy and not give it fuel. Because yes, thank you, Andy. The astrology is the astrology. It's neutral. Exactly. And events will happen that somehow which way does that go? No, that way. It's a mirror image. It's really weird. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Astrological transits are neutral. Each of the planets has a particular energy, kind of frequency that will get triggered when certain other angles and planets trigger that point. Now, for some people today, you will feel absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. You may be just an observer, a bystander of some of the extraordinary and challenging events that are happening on the planet. And, you know, yes, thank you, Brenda. Astrology is a guidance of energies. It is very much something that should not be seen as a predictive tool. It's not. It really isn't. There is a side of astrology called horary astrology, where you can use it to help you find, for instance, lost objects or to get certain yes-no answers to things. I'm not really up to speed with horary astrology, so I'm not really sure how to work with it. But there is such a vast area of astrology. And, you know, even though I've been doing astrology on and off over the last 35, 40 years, I still feel as if I know this much, because that is how astrology is. But coming back to this conjunction today, because this is super important. Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, it's a fire planet. It rules Aries. It's the god of war. It's aggression, attacks, is conjunct Uranus. Now, Uranus is our planet, one of the outer generational planets of sudden events, shocks, the unexpected, and electricity. It can also be the internet, and I'm just trying to think what else Uranus represents. Well, it's freedom of speech. It's also rebellion. So you've got all this energy packed into Mars and Uranus, combining their two energies in the sign of Taurus, which is fixed, earth, grounded. These two planets conjunct in Taurus want to blow the earth apart. Please don't take what I'm saying literally. But, you know, it would not be unusual for there to be earthquakes around this time, volcanic eruptions. Oh, down here in the southern Mediterranean, we did have Etna, Mount Etna in Sicily, and Stromboli, which is another volcano just north of Sicily, spewing out lava over the last 10 days. So, and that is really within the orb or the energies of this conjunction. But we have to also remember that one of the yes, Dawn, you refuse to be a victim to the energies. And it is about the choices. We can choose to say, hey, how can I flip this energy into something positive? Because, you know, we can tend sometimes to get into this way of thinking where we think, oh, surprises and the unexpected are always going to be terrible and bad. Why? You know, you could receive or have received a really nice unexpected twist in your own personal life events over the last few days that wakes you up, that you think, my God, I never saw that coming. So, and that you would be quite happy about it. So that is also something that can happen with this energy. And let's just move on to Algol, which is the fixed star that is represented by the Gorgon Medusa. And Medusa, if you remember, is the Gorgon who had all the serpents coming out of her head. And she was slain by Perseus, who took her head and put it in a bag and was able to ward off his enemies by taking the head out of the bag so that they could see the face of Medusa. and it turned them to stone. So let's think a little bit about that energy. So there is something about this energy today that is quite profound, dramatic, life-changing. That doesn't have to mean it's bad. It can be positive. And it can be in any area of your life that change has needed to come. I mean, obviously, if we looked at your individual charts, we would see where this aspect actually falls, the house system that it falls in. So for me, for example, because it's always back to me, of course, isn't it? It's in my 10th house. It's 10th, 11th house. So it's about career, public image, putting me out there on the sort of the world stage, which of course YouTube, my channel does, and getting in touch with larger groups of people. So it may be there are some unexpected events that happen for me over the next few days that surprise me, wake me up, that I think, whoa, that's nice. I didn't see that coming. So do you see, these energies do not have to be negative. Now, let me just, I want to look at President Trump's chart, because I think it's actually really important. And I've lost it. Because I think to see what the energies were doing for him on, I think it was Saturday night, wasn't it? I have to get him out of Astro Business, and it's under RST. No, it's not there. It's samples. Excuse me, it dropped out of my list. Here we go. Right. So I'm going to bring in the Mars-Uranus conjunction on top of Donald Trump's chart, because let's see what was happening for him. I mean, I did talk about it last time, but I think it's important to look at some of the other energies, because it will be very helpful to understand how he proceeds forward. I do remember when I talked about this last time that I was concerned for him, and the area I've been concerned for him is in the area of his head, which is very interesting. But I had felt, because obviously the thinking and the thoughts come in, it's very difficult not to think and to let the mind come in, or a gut feeling. I had thought stroke. But of course, almost what we could say is he's had a stroke of luck. Let's just think about this. This bullet just clipped his ear. My God, is this man born under a lucky star? And he didn't lose his head. And how he now moves on to process psychologically what has happened for him, because the psychological trauma is almost worse than the wound. And we have to remember, this is an elderly gentleman. This is not a young guy in his 30s or 40s who can get over these things quickly. This will have shocked him to the core. And if I look at his chart, so the Mars-Uranus conjunction is conjunct his, what we call the midheaven. So this is his public image. This is how we see him on the world stage. Well, you could say that the Mars-Uranus conjunction has been a really big wake-up call for the whole of American politics, because American media, politics in general, need to pay attention to this as a wake-up call. And whoever, whatever was behind this, and whether or not it was just a lone wolf, we don't know. We will now get all the conspiracy theories, but who knows? If I look in his chart, let me see, what do I feel? It's something that's been thought about for a long time. I get that because he's got the moon in Scorpio, transiting moon in Scorpio, Athena, which is about justice, and the ascendant of the Uranus-Mars conjunction, all in his third house of communication. So this really sort of gives us a feel for what is going on. There was something going on that was deeply hidden, like vengeful feelings that were building up over a period of time from wherever and whomever that comes from. I'm just reading, remember, the astrology as I interpret it. And of course, I think that the other energies in his chart really point us towards the fact that he has some realignment to do. He needs to take a step back and think about how he could restructure his journey, shall we say, towards maybe being the next president again of the United States. I think he has to restructure the way he approaches people, because my feeling is if he is unable to get on his side people that are in the middle and unsure, that need to see something a little bit more balanced and less rhetoric and fighting war talk, then maybe, just maybe, he would do a lot better. So I'm just seeing what some of you have written. What's this? The bullet did not clip his ear. It was TGE monitors that was shattered. I don't know what TGE monitors are. And I don't know what the NEA is or the NRA. So I'm just seeing Cosmic BL saying about Jupiter in Gemini, luck, law, religion. Religion, in a sense, I think is quite a good take on that. It's quite a good take. Right, not sure if the bullet was glass that shattered. Oh, okay, the National Rifle Association, thank you. I'm not familiar. Oh, Alma, I find that fascinating. Alma has said, I do believe this experience will bring him closer to God. You know, this could be a big, huge awakening point for him. I'm not saying he's going to become a born-again Christian, but I do think he might wake up to a kind of spiritual energy that he's not perhaps given credence to. But I want to go on to look at two other charts around this Mars-Uranus conjunction, because, okay, I'm just seeing what Lynn has said. What is a 20-year-old boy who is registered as a Republican, same party as Trump? Yeah, I don't know. Yes, we have to be careful what we're being told. Yes, Alma, I think you're right. I think it'll make him reevaluate a lot of things. It was a typo. His ear was not clipped by a bullet. I've just got a little midge has gone in my drink. Anyway, what I'm going to do is move on with the astrology, because we could really disappear fast down a rabbit hole here. And I want to stay in charge of this energy and really kind of, okay, blow back from glass monitors. I get that. Jem, I love you too, sweetie. I want to look at Kamala Harris, and I want to look at the chart I got wrong last week when I looked at John F. Kennedy Jr., and I should have been looking at Robert J. Kennedy Jr. or whatever. Anyway, I've got the right charts tonight. Now for Kamala Harris, it's difficult. I think this is all quite difficult for her. I think what is being asked of her, which I think is all I'm able to really pick up from the transits in her chart, from the Mars-Uranus conjunction, is that she will be having some kind of inner spiritual awakening as well, which is interesting because it's in her 12th house and it's conjunct her natal Jupiter in Taurus. So there is something here about a waking up and a determination to seek truth. You see, supposing the American people were able to flip this energy and turn it into something very positive and bring unity and not disconnection and separation. We are, however, all, the same. We are from the same divine source. And getting caught in this energy is going backwards. I think I've talked about this before, where I see 3D and 5D going in opposite directions, like the parting of the Red Sea. I see 3D going this way. That's fine. Nothing bad happens to them. They just continue to live their life. 5D goes this way. And I think if you are a 3D or a 5D person. Most probably, if you're here listening, you're 5D, because otherwise I don't think you would be listening to me. You would have gone, oh, this woman's talking a load of rubbish, and switched me off. So Kamala Harris has a Gemini ascendant. Now, this means that she can be a very good orator. And funnily enough, on TikTok today, a TikTok video came up of Kamala Harris giving a talk. And it must have been before the events of the weekend. But she made me sit up and listen. And I did find her quite compelling. So I just throw that into the equation. Now, if we move on to Joe Biden's chart, who of course I've lost as well, select from file. Let's see, where is he? He's up here somewhere. A, B, C. I don't even know the alphabet. I don't know what it is. I think it's a dyslexia or something like that. I'm nearly there. Where does I come? A, B, C, D, F, G. Oh, there we go. Joe Biden. Right. Okay, so now Joe Biden, this conjunction for him Mm, it's in his 6th house, which is his date. I wish I could get this right. Oh, I want to do that way. It's just irritating me. That's interesting, Dawn. You would clarify by saying an alliance with the outcomes and purposes for the higher good. Yeah, I would recommend watching Kamala Harris again. Now, Joe Biden has this in his 6th house of health. And there could still be something more that emerges or happens for him with this energy. So we just have to put it out there. It's what's around. It could also be complete disruption by outside and unexpected events that cause him to have to change his program, his routine, to have to move quickly from place to place, to have to change a whole load of stuff that's going on. So that's what I feel with that. And let me see, it is squaring his Chiron. I am still worried about President Biden's health. And I understand why he wants to do what he's doing. But I really feel he's got Uranus Mars squaring his natal Chiron and his natal North Node. I think what he has to do is ask himself, is all of this worth risking his health to get worse, even his life, when maybe there is somebody who would be either a better president, should the Democrats win, or a better opposition leader with younger, more free-thinking ideas. So let's just kind of leave that there for a minute. And what about how this all affects you individually? Because if we look at the event chart, I think it's going to have quite an effect on our close one-to-one relationships. This is because we have a Scorpio ascendant, and this puts Uranus and Mars in the 7th house in Taurus. So there is something here about relationships could really be all over the place. And shocks, twists, unexpected events can happen. And as I said before, some of these surprises you might be quite happy about. Just saying. So, also, we have to remember that the ascendant for this event chart is Scorpio. There is some dark truth that needs to come out, whether that's on a personal level or an international level, because I think if we look at the world stage, and this energy has been around already for a few days, and it is going to be around for a few more days. The show isn't over yet. Remember, the party's not over till the fat lady sings. Ha, and I've lost weight, and I'm the singer. So the show is not over yet. There's more to come. That's on a personal level and on an international level. there could be discussions that go on for people around where they're living, and family issues could come up in the sense of making things clear on certain decisions that need to be made. Remember, this is a cosmic weather forecast. So you have to take what sits in your lap. And I've just seen Andy's message, and thank you, I've got your message. I will respond a little bit later. I just want to see what Parry says here. If President Biden has issues after his election win, Kamala Harris will be healthy and a gift for our country and our world as president. If he wins, we don't know. And also, we you know, time is like a flat plate. Everything is happening simultaneously. There's another part of the timeline where we all know exactly the results of the US election and the events that lead up to it and the events that follow it. And it's about us learning to be in the moment, to really stay in the present moment, in the flow of the energy. Because as soon as we drop out of the flow, and you'll know, because you start overthinking and you start getting the old butterflies and anxiety in your tummy, that's when you're not in the flow. As long as we always know with absolute faith that our personal God, our connection has your back, then all shall be well. And all manner of things shall be well. So I'm glancing at some of your chat, and I'm just going to have a sip, because you can probably hear how my voice has dropped about 3 octaves. It's a COVID flu-y thing apparently that's going around. A lot of people are in hospital. I'm not going to hospital because I'm not choosing to, because I'm not ill enough. If I was too ill, I wouldn't be doing this. So do I sound extra sexy? Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Andy. What's Barry saying? It's a process of awakening the world. Yes. You know what? It's a very good thing that that Donald Trump was only injured. I really do believe that. And thank you, Sil. It's good to see you there or here. Hi, Melissa. Hi, honey. Listen, I want to move on to the rest of the week, because what I want to say is this Mars-Uranus energy is around all week. So take extra care, because Mars can bring accidents, unforeseen accidents. Be extra specially careful with electricity, with dodgy plugs, with dodgy fuses, with dodgy connections. Be extra specially careful. And I want to remind you of what happened 84 years ago, the last time that Mars and Uranus were conjunct the fixed star Algol, remember the head of Medusa, in Taurus. And what happened was, it was 1 month before Germany invaded Poland, 2 years before the attack on Pearl Harbor, and Albert Einstein wrote to Roosevelt telling him it may be possible to set up a nuclear chain reaction in a large mass of uranium, by which vast amounts of power and large quantities of new radium-like elements would be generated, and that this would lead to the creation of extremely powerful bombs. Well, we don't want to entertain that timeline, do we? So I also wanted to remind you, remember a couple of weeks ago I talked about the Statue of Liberty, and I know I'm focusing a lot on America, but I think America is really going through it at the moment. Not that the rest of the world and everybody else who may be listening live or in catch up is not also having a tough time individually or personally or with whatever is happening politically in their part of the world. But I didn't talk about the crown on the Statue of Liberty and the 7 points of the crown. It represents the 7 continents and the 7 seas, symbolizing the universal concept of liberty and freedom accessible to all people around the world. Somewhere, somehow, we've all lost sight of that. And we need to wake up to that and get that back quick, is my feeling. There is another aspect today, which is the sun in Cancer. So the sun, remember, our beating heart, the soul of our solar system. It rules health. It rules Leo. It's making a hard square that's challenging to Chiron in Aries. Remember, Chiron is our centaur who has a wound that never heals. Do you have a wound that never seems to heal? Do your various continents and countries have wounds that never seem to heal? You know, it's something to think about, because this is about healing. There is a great opportunity here. We are at an absolutely critical, crucial crossroads, I would say, from the astrology and how the energies are affecting the energies of the planet and of everybody on it. We are at a major crossword, at a major crossroads. And it is about waking up. And if enough of us move away from the dark, the scorpionic, going into the depths of everything being how horrible and terrible and dramatic and death and, you know, all the horrible things that we hear about. What we need to focus our light upon is solutions to all these things. I mean, hey, whoever becomes the next president of the United States, we need to give him our support, or her. We need to give him or her our back. We need to be on their team, whatever our Democratic or Republican ideals are, because there needs to be unity on the planet. That is so super, super important. So if we look at what is moving on through the rest of the week, the moon will still be in Scorpio tomorrow. So we may see results of events that have unfolded. We may start to get some information coming out, but be careful that it's not secrets and lies. make sure your source of news is credible and is honorable. By Wednesday, the moon moves into Sagittarius, and when it's there, it really is demanding truth, balance, harmony, truth. And then go away, you horrible little fly. There's a horrible little fly. Sorry about that. You know what I'm like. Anyway, right. Thursday, moon is still in Sagittarius. And remember, by Thursday and Friday, we're building up to the full moon on Sunday in Capricorn, which is a mega big and important full moon. It's in Capricorn. It's at the 29th degree of Capricorn, opposite the sun at the 29th degree of Cancer, just before the sun slips in to Leo. And not only that, but the moon, the full moon, is conjunct Pluto, transforming, empowering, powerful Pluto. Now, I'm doing a separate video, which is going to be pre-recorded. I'll pre-record it tomorrow, and that'll be up over the next few days. But by Friday, the moon moves into Capricorn. And of course, I'm not going to go into too much detail of the daily energies because we have to get over what's been happening in the last few days. And basically, we have a little bit of a kind of balancing out, and then we need to move towards preparation for this full moon, because that's going to be quite a big one. It's a blue moon, which means when you have two full moons in the same sign, then the first one is just a full moon. The second one is a blue moon. It has no astrological meaning whatsoever. So by Friday, the moon is in Capricorn, and by Saturday, there is a lot more energy bubbling away, because we've got Mars will move into Gemini. So it's moving out of its conjunction. It'll still be conjunct Uranus widely. So we've still got the energy of the Mars-Uranus Algol conjunction at the end of the week, building up to the full moon, which is why this full moon is going to be so super powerful. And Mars in Gemini will also sextile retrograde Neptune in Pisces on Saturday. And Pisces and Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune is about having a bit of a foggy head, not seeing things clearly, viruses, colds, things like that. Probably by Saturday, I'll be feeling better because Mars is sextiling Neptune. So I'll probably be fully recovered by the weekend. Now, I'm going to come on now to, as you always know, I do a word for the week. And the word for the week is, yes, blue moon, absolutely. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to sing it or whether it's in the public domain or whether I'll get copyright slapped on me. Otherwise, I'd sing it. I have a word for the week, which is actually very important. And one of you watching here will know this because we discussed it this morning. It's about flow, being in the flow. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. When we fall out of the flow of life, of the energetic flow, of the direction the river is taking us, we start to struggle. We start to overthink. We start to drown in that river. Once we stay in the flow, which we have to stay in, or to stay in it, go with the flow. Absolutely, Cosmic BL. Yeah, I'm unwell, Laurie. It's just a coldy, COVIDy, flu-y thing. I feel okay. I'm going to bed after this. I'll have a soup and then go to bed. But flow is so important. Flow also takes me back to the book I've mentioned to you many, many times, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. Now, this book is one of the best. It was written in 1926. It is one of the best descriptions of being able to stay in the flow of life, have faith, and know with absolute certainty that everything will unfold for the highest good of you and the highest good of everyone else. And, once you can stay in that flow and have the faith that the divine, or whatever name, as I said earlier, you assign to your God, whatever that word is, you will, the the release in your body. If you suffer from blood pressure, it will drop down to normal. If you are someone who gets anxious, all those nasty little butterflies in your stomach will go. If you suffer from tension in your shoulders and tension in your body, suddenly there'll be a release, because it's about letting go. And as I've said before, letting go, letting God. Whatever. Now, Florence Scovel Shinn says the most important thing is that the word that you use to connect you with that divine energy, with your God, has to be your word. Words have vibrations. If you had a bad experience of, say, the word God growing up, because it was hammered into you, you were dragged off to Sunday school, dragged off to church, and really, hated the way it was taught to you, then you won't have a good relationship with the divine energy. So you have to find your own personal way of connecting with that divine source and energy that means for you, there we go. I'm back in the flow. What I say is I go, come on, Florence, because she was the lady that wrote the book. Make sure you've got my back today, because Florence, the word for me, go with the flow, go with flow, immediately gets me into the frequency of letting go and letting the divine and the universe unfold for me what is for my best and the highest good of everybody else. I love that, Jim, the law of non-resistance. Yes, the law of non-resistance. Now I'm going to start bringing things to a close, because as you can hear, I'm losing my voice now. But don't forget, word for the week is flow. Oh, bless you, Gems. Thank you. And thank you for all the lovely comments. I will go back. Oh, Poonam, you're reading it right now. That's beautiful. And let me know if you like having the live on a Sunday, or if you'd prefer it to be on a Monday. I'd be quite curious to know. Put it in the comments when I've uploaded the video, because maybe all round it's more helpful for people to find the time to watch it on a Monday night. I don't know. or a Monday lunchtime, or a Monday breakfast time. Okay, so some of you are saying yes on a Monday. So just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. So, guys, what can I say? You are friggin' awesome, absolutely awesome. I'm going to, because I haven't even drunk it now, my cold tea with ginger, honey, and a herbal tea bag, and some lemon. I will sip that. And as long as you get to see me, oh, bless you. Okay, any day you say, oh, bless you. Well, I'll see how things unfold, because maybe a Monday is quite good, especially as we go through the summer, because I'm going to want to go out when I'm better and swim in the pool and meet my friends in the block of the apartments and all of that. So listen, thank you guys. I'm going to stop wittering away as I always do. Remember, just be careful around this energy. It is tough. Remember, words, once they're spoken, cannot be taken back. And remember to respond to anything that's happening and not react. Don't jump to the wrong conclusion with this energy. This will pass. You know, as they say, and this too shall pass. It will all be okay. And there's a poem, I think, that ends, and the rose and the crown will be one, which I think is quite beautiful. I think it's T.S. Eliot. So I don't even know if the mic is going to be picking up my voice now. So I better go and end stream. Thank you for being here, guys. I will see you. I will decide in the week. I'll do one of those posts on YouTube, and you can say Monday or Sunday, and we can work it out that way. How many percentages for Monday, how many for Sunday. Anyway, yeah, take care, everyone. It's lovely to see you all here. Andy, I will send you a personal message, but I'm so glad you're okay and have survived and everything is going okay. I think this is your Mars Uranus. You know, Mars is cutting surgery. So, and a pleasant surprise. So there you go. All right, guys, I'm off. Take care. I really love you all so much, Soul Fam. Mwah. Take care. And I'll see you very, very soon. And remember, every day I will be doing the Astro Bites. There's one I've already pre-recorded for tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'm going to record some more for the next few days. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's going. Bye for now. Night, night. Bye.